Welcome back to another video. In this video we are going to study ScrollView. So let's start by creating a new file and name it as ScrollView Playground. ScrollView is actually a container view that further contains child views and displays them in scrollable manner. So let's see how we can add a simple scroll view, and you just have to write a scroll view and then the curly braces. And now let's see how we can add some static elements inside scroll view. So we can add anything in a scroll view that conforms to a view. So let's just have a simple text that says element 1 and maybe element 2 and element 3. So now we have 3 elements inside our scroll view, and if we try to scroll it, you can see we can do. And we can also add dynamic elements. For that we have to use for each, and let's have loop till 30 maybe. You can name anything this. I will like to name it index. You can just maybe name it as number as well, that's fine as well. So let's just have another text view, and let's just say maybe dynamic element and then this plus the number. So now we have combination of static and dynamic elements, and if you scroll it, you can still scroll. So by default this scroll view is actually vertical, or it has a vertical orientation, and the maximum width for this scroll view is equal to the any element that is that has a maximum width in the group. So let's just see. Now we have, if we add a background in here, it'll be red, and we can see that the scroll view has this width. And maybe if we have like another element, let's just say element with max width, then others. So now because of this element, this scroll view width is the scroll view width is equal to this element width. And if you want, you can actually maybe use a frame to give it a maximum infinity width. That's also fine, but I just wanted to explain how this maximum width works for this scroll view. And yeah, so now you may notice the similarity between the list and a scroll view. List is another container in a SwiftUI that is used to display scrollable content, but the only difference between them is ScrollView offers great flexibility and adaptability when it comes to custom styling and modifying scroll behavior. On the other hand, list has predefined styles. So this is it for the scroll view. This is how you can add a basic scroll view, and if you want, you can add anything that conforms to text, or sorry, that conforms to a view. So maybe we can have a toggle button in here. Let's just say notifications, and for that we have to use a state. So let's just have a state in here maybe. And let's just provide it. So now you notice we have this toggle button inside our scroll view. So we can add anything that conforms to our view. And by default, this scroll view shows an indicator when you scroll your list. So let's just have maybe 50 elements so that we can actually have elements that are not visible on the screen. And now, okay, for some reason this is not rendering. Yeah, maybe I can change some text in here. Dynamic element, maybe dynamic test element, so that just this preview force itself to redraw. And now we have this list that is the list is actually not covering the whole height of this iPhone, and it has some content that we need actually to scroll to see. And now you can see that we have this indicator coming up. Let's just add some padding to this scroll view so that we can see this indicator more clearly. Now if I scroll, you can see we have this indicator coming up, and if you want, or if it's the design of your app, you can just hide it. So we just have to use this show indicator property and provide the false value, and now you won't have this indicator. See? And yeah, so this is how you can write or work with a vertical scroll view. In the same way, we can have a horizontal scroll view. Let's just comment this for now, and let's just have another scroll view. And now if you may notice that we have this axis value, which is by default vertical, but we can use scroll view with a horizontal axis as well. So if you write dot, then you can have these two values. So let's just have horizontal this time, and maybe use no indicators for the horizontal as well. And same as the vertical, we can have some static elements for the horizontal scroll view as well. So yeah, maybe 2 and 3. Okay, so another thing is, for this scroll view to work, for this scroll view to work as a horizontal, you actually have to use a stack that act as a horizontal. So we have to wrap all of these text inside h stack. So now we have our horizontal scrollable list. And yeah, we can have some dynamic content in here as well. So let's just have for each maybe 20, and then we can have some text in here that says dynamic element. And now we have our dynamic elements as well. So yeah, this is how this horizontal and vertical scroll view works. And if you want, you can actually embed a scroll view inside a scroll view. So let's just comment this for now and have vertical scroll view as again. We have this vertical scroll view because now we are going to look at this scroll view reader. And ScrollView Reader is actually used to move to a particular position inside a scroll view. And for this we have to use a ScrollView Reader because it provides us this scrollTo method that we can use to move to a particular position. So this is actually helpful. Let's just say if you have some communication kind of application, like maybe you have this chat application, and by default you want to move to the beginning of the conversation, or the last message which the user sent to the other. So you can just use this scroll view reader for this to move to that particular position. So for now, let's just have this scroll view, and we are going to use this dynamic elements in here. And let's just use text and simply display the number. And yeah, let's just give it a padding and maybe a background of color perhaps green with opacity of 0.5. These are all the modifiers that we can use with our text view. And then let's just try to use a clip shape of circle so that we have these circles. And yeah, let's just maybe hide this show indicator. And yeah, and now what we want to do is maybe we want to have a button in here at the top. Let's just say that says move to maybe position 15, or I guess we just need to have 15 in here because we only use this syntax for the variable value, but right now this is not a variable, just a constant, so we just have to write it like this. And maybe just have a button style in here with border prominent. Yeah, and once we press this button, what we want to go to the position 15, which is right now not visible on the screen. So for this to work, we have to embed all of this scroll view inside our scroll reader. So in Xcode 14, you can easily do this by just selecting the text, and then you can press the shift, and then you can write this or press this curly button icon or the keyboard icon for this curly button, and everything will be wrapped inside curly braces, and then you can write the stack name or the view name that you want to wrap all of this element. So we want to wrap this in a ScrollView reader. Yeah, and then we are going to have a reader in here, and yeah, everything looks same, except now we just have this reader that we can use to move to a particular position. So now we can use this reader dot move to method. Sorry, not move, it's scroll. Yeah, reader dot scroll to, and we can provide the ID to which we want to scroll. So right now we do not have the ID with our text, but we can simply add them by using this ID modifier. And for the ID, we are going to pass the number itself because these numbers are unique. So ID it should be unique, and right now we have this as a unique because we know it's not going to repeat, so that's fine. We can just write maybe 15 in here, and now we can press on our button, and you can see we have this 15 in front of us. And there is another thing that we can use, it's called anchor, and it actually positions the element that you are scrolling to in respect to whatever anchor you provide. So if you provide maybe top, it's going to the top, bottom it's going to the bottom, and in center then it will be the center of the list. So right now let's just pause top, and now if we press, we have 15 at the top. So this is how this reader actually works, ScrollView reader with ScrollView. You can also use this with the horizontal ScrollView as well. That's up to you. And yeah, if you want, you can actually wrap this inside animation. We haven't worked with the animation right now, but in the video where we are going to work with animation, I will maybe try to rewrite this code and show you how you can do this with animation, so that instead of just jumping to the position 15, our list actually nicely scrolls to the position 15. So that's it for this video. If you have anything on your mind, you can just make sure to leave a comment, and thank you. See you in the next video.